And a good Wednesday morning to you guys on Bruce the Weathered Soul here on the morning drive. And it's a Wednesday. And hey, how's it going? I'm out a little bit early, so I'm a little bit kind of like going like, woo, it's still dark outside. And it's a nice chilly day out here in California. And hey, something that I don't talk about a lot on the podcast, on the podcast I talk about a lot with Better Soul podcast, but what I don't talk about on the morning drive a lot is the COVID crisis, what we got going on here with the COVID, the coronavirus, let's call it its right name. Everybody wants to call it COVID-19, everybody wants to call it this and that. I'm calling it the coronavirus. Whatever you want to call it what it is, but I really don't talk about it much, only because that I don't subscribe to the hype and everything else that is going along with it. I realize that the coronavirus is for real. There's no doubt that people are contracting the coronavirus and they are spreading it around. There's no doubt that people are dying from the coronavirus. How many really actually died from the coronavirus is still up in the air. But I trust that when this all comes out in the wash, that the real numbers will come out and things will be happening. Now, one of the things that I want to talk about, because the recent developments in coronavirus, is that they do now have a vaccine that is being administered in the United Kingdom. I just want to let you know, and this is direct out of Wikipedia because I've been doing some kind of research, and I looked at Wikipedia, and then I kind of looked back at a couple of other health journals just to find out if all the dates and everything were right. And in 1930 is when scientists started working on a polio vaccine. 1930. Remember that date, 1930. That's when scientists started working on a polio vaccine. Polio had made itself known, and they had decided that they were going to try to develop a vaccine to get rid of polio virus quickly and effectively. However, it wasn't until 1953 that Jonas Salk, the one who's famous for giving out the polio virus for free, because that's the way, that's the way vaccines probably should be given out, especially because he is the one that developed it, and he is the one that actually produced it and distributed it. He gave the patent out to the other companies, the pharmaceutical companies, for free. He expected that to go out for free. I believe it did, because I got my polio vaccine, whatever. But it wasn't until 1953 that happened. Now remember that polio didn't just disappear in 1953. No, it did not. Polio did not disappear in 1953. In fact, when I was a young child, I still remember seeing March of Dimes commercials and other commercials saying that you need to get your polio vaccine. That was in the 60s. It wasn't until 1979, 26 years later, 1979, I was 19 years old when the U.S. finally said that they eradicated the polio virus. And still, the polio virus is still around. We're down to about 33 deaths a year, or infections a year, on the virus. So vaccines do work, guys. That's for sure. But I wouldn't expect that that coronavirus is going to be tamed within the year. A lot of people go like, oh, well, our technology is so much more advanced and people are so much more advanced. No, we're not. We're still the same age of bloodletting and things like that. Don't let things fool you that we have been so far advanced in science that we know that we're going to lick this thing right away. In fact, another fact is that a successful coronavirus vaccine has not been developed. Not for the MERS, which was a coronavirus, and not for SARS, which was a coronavirus. Now, we have hopes that this coronavirus will take an effect, and I do have hopes that this coronavirus takes effect. I'm not going to get a coronavirus vaccine if they put a mandate out for it. It's just not going to happen for me. If this coronavirus vaccine works out to be a good vaccine, then perhaps I will. I do take a flu vaccine every year, and that's not to be said that I'm just the flu is a no joke. I'm sure that COVID-19 is a no joke, but right now, until I see that the vaccine is working and that there are minimal side effects as much as the flu vaccine is, then I won't be taking it. But anyway, I wanted to give you that little primer on vaccines and the coronavirus and how I look at the coronavirus. I'm not a grandma killer. I am going to work. I have to. I'm essential.
Watch out, vehicle stopped on shoulder ahead.
I keep saving people, or that I work at a store, or that I work in the healthcare system. I'm essential to my family because I have to work for a living. I have to put bread on my table. I have to make sure my bills are paid, and therefore I'm an essential worker, and I will not be abiding by this lockdown economically, socially, or whatever. That's just the way things are. So just a different flavor on the morning drive today. This is Bruce the Weathered Soul. Live free. Not as free as they permit, but as free as you can get away with. It's a beautiful Wednesday. Go out and enjoy it. This is Bruce the Weathered Soul, and I'm out of here. See you later, guys.